Hi everyone, hope you're having a great start to your week. We have a warm deep stretch class planned and I'm so excited to spend this time with you. Feels so good to take care of our bodies and quiet our minds and have a nice stretch. So I'll give everyone just a moment to pop on here and then we'll get started. I'll go through the list of props that you may want to have handy today. You will want a blanket for a little support under the knees. We have a half a frog pose included today. And you'll also want maybe a couple blocks if available. Hey, Michelle and Pat. Hi, everyone. And then I have a yoga strap at home, but if you don't, you can use a couple women's scarves tied together, or a belt, or a men's tie. So take a moment to make sure you've got what you need nearby. And I'm gonna step back on the mat. Because this is a warm class and we normally have the studio heated to 80 degrees, I do have a warm-up portion here at the beginning. But if you prefer to have an easy seat or take a few moments of quiet or just some gentle stretches instead of following along with this particular warm-up, feel free, just honor your body. This is your class. You're at home, customize, take a pause, and we'll work together to have a great experience. If you can see and hear me okay, and you don't mind, just give me a thumbs up and we'll get started. The Tai Chi warm-up seems to work really well to get the body ready for this class. So that portion is the same, but then we've got a few different stretches today. So what we're gonna do is bring the feet nice and wide, 45 degrees. So for me, that's about on either side of my mat. Then my arms are gonna hang in front here. So that's where we'll get started. If you'd like to set an intention or take a few breaths, we can bring the hands to heart center. Float the eyes closed. Coming into your space and bringing awareness to the body before we begin to connect breath and movement. Finding that phrase that speaks to you that you can come back to throughout your practice. And when you're ready, feet are nice and wide, arms are hanging in front. We're gonna inhale, bring those arms up, and as we exhale, we're pushing energy down, and you'll notice I've taken a plie. I'll turn to the side here so you can see. My tail is tucked, my spine is tall, and I've pushed the energy down with my exhale. So I'm gonna inhale, pull it up, exhale, press it down. Now you decide how much you're bending the knees. You can deepen with each exhale when you feel ready. So we'll inhale up and exhale, press that energy down. Let's do 6 more times. And 5. 4 more here. And 3. 2. And 1. Now I want you to hold that plie. Bring those arms out front. Make sure I'm in frame here. And then we're going to turn to the right. Notice I've still got my knees bent. They're nice and open. Come over to the right. Swinging the arms across and around. And repeating. So we're going to do that 8 times. Swing those arms across and come back around. I'll face you So you can get a different perspective here. Over to the right, deeper plie down, and back over. We have 7, and 6. Hi everyone. I see we've got a few more that have joined us. Welcome. 3 more here, and then we're going to repeat on the other side. If you need a little break for the legs, you can straighten for a moment and then repeat. Otherwise, meet me in the middle, holding that plie. Take your ball of energy over to the left, deepen the plie, swing through, and repeat 7 more times. Already feeling a little heat in the body, which is good before a nice stretch. 5 more, and 4, and 3, and 2. 1 more. Meet me in the middle. Straighten the legs and heel toe in. Now we're moving into our full body circles. I'll turn to my side, but I've got my feet about hip distance apart, and we're going to bring those arms overhead. We'll soften the knees, take it over to the right, down and around. We have 4, and 3. Notice how the low back is feeling. Keep those knees soft. 1 more here, and we'll reverse. Other way. 4, and 3, and 2, and 1. Now we have our jazz folds. So we're going to inhale and bring those arms out. You can take them to shoulder height or higher to get some nice momentum. And after we inhale, we're going to exhale, fold, swing the arms, soften the knees, body comes forward. Inhale here, and exhale. 4 more times. And 3. And 2. And 1. Very good. Turn to face me. And we're going to roll the shoulders. Let's do those one at a time. Right and left. Bring them up towards the ears. Big circles towards the back. For 8 and 7. We have a visitor. 4 and 3. 2 and 1. And now let's reverse. Take your time, big circles here. 7 more, each side. 2 and 1. Good work. We're going to inhale up and swan dive forward with our exhale. Soften the knees, reaching. You can place the hands on the shins or the fingertips or palms on your mat. Nice forward fold here like so. Continue to breathe. Grab opposite elbows. Take a few ragdoll twists. Now as we inhale, we're planting the hands on the shins or the thighs. Careful not to lock the knees. And we want to bring that back nice and flat. Then open the heart and squeeze the shoulder blades together. And when you're ready, exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Straighten that back. And one more fold forward. And we're going to inhale, root to rise all the way up and interlace the fingers. We're moving into a side bend to your right. So I've got the fingers interlaced, all 10 toes on the floor, and over to your right. Breathe here. Keep your heart shining towards me. The hip can go out a little. And back up. Take a breath here. And let's go over to your left. Back up to center. We're gonna go one more time over to the right and the left. Take your inhale here. Exhale and continue to breathe. Back up and finish to your left. And back up. Arms come down. And we'll pause here in mountain pose. Palms facing me. Soften the shoulders. Float the eyes closed. Turn that attention to the focus you set for your practice. Notice how the body's feeling. And bring the eyes open. We're coming into a warrior one on the right. So what I'd like you to do is the right foot's in front. We step back with the left foot. And that left foot is at 45 degrees. We've got a little bend in the front knee. So I'm going to turn to my side, hoping this is a little bit more helpful for you. So you'll notice I've got a bend in the front knee. It's still over the ankle. My back leg is straight, but I'm careful not to roll too far back on that foot. It's at 45 degrees and my hips are square. Sometimes helps to physically touch the hips. And then when you're ready, arms come out and up. Let's see if the palms can face one another. Soften the shoulders. See how it feels to open the heart just a bit and look forward. This is our warrior one. And we're going to move into cactus arms after our next exhale. That means we're pulling the elbows back. Fingers are spread nice and wide. Heart is shining forward. You should feel this opening up the chest and into your shoulder blades. Nice squeeze. And then when you're ready, we're interlacing the hands behind the low back. And we're going to fold forward, bringing that shoulder, that right shoulder, beside the right knee as the arms lift behind. Now this is optional, but I'll show you what it looks like. The arms don't have to get too high. 2 more breaths here. And let's come up and bring those arms up, palms facing one another. We have 3 breaths here, and then we'll repeat on the other side. Arms come down, big step forward. May feel nice to press and stretch those feet before we move into our warrior one on our left. I'm turning to the side so you can get a better idea here. We've got the left foot in front, stepping back with the right, a little bend in that left knee, square those hips, send the arms up, palms facing one another. 3 nice breaths here. Going into our cactus arms, really pull those elbows back. 3 breaths. Interlace the hands behind the low back. Open the heart, fold forward, lift the arms behind. And as we come back up, send the arms up, palms facing one another, 3 breaths. Arms come down and stepping forward. Now we have one more standing stretch before we make our way over to our mat. And this is our pyramid pose. So if you do have a block, it can be helpful. It's not necessary, but it's a nice option. I'll turn to my side and I'm going to set that block in front of my feet. And my feet are about hip distance apart. And I have my right leg in front, stepping back with my left. Now, there's 2 or 3 feet between my feet. Both legs are relatively straight, and my hips are square forward. With a flat back, I'm going to hip forward and pause halfway. You should already feel a stretch in your hamstrings. Then you can place those palms on the block or on the front of the shin as you continue to fold. Another option is to make fists and bring those hands down to either side of the front foot, or maybe bring palms all the way down to the mat. Depends on how your body's feeling today. Keep some length in the spine. Continue breathing. We're here for 6 breaths. This is our pyramid. One more breath, and I find it helpful to place my hands on that front leg and up before I repeat on the other side. So now the left leg's in front, step back with the right, square the hips, hinge and pause halfway, and then continue making your way down. Maybe the palms are on the block or fists on either side of the front foot. 6 breaths with me. Three more. And walk those hands up the front leg to come up. We'll step near the front of the mat. We're going to take a big inhale up, exhale, fold, and if a downward facing dog is in your practice, we'll take our first down dog today, or your second or third, if you were with Jacqueline. So we're planting hands on either side of the feet, soften the knees, stepping back right and left to create that upside down V with the body. I'll turn to my side here. Tail is lifted. You can have a bend in the knee and pedal things out. Pressing the heart towards the mat. Biceps are a few inches from the ears. You can come up and down on the ball of the feet. Walk out your dog. And do what feels right for you. From here, we're going to lower down onto all fours. So this is where, if you have sensitive knees, you may want to place a blanket under the knees for a little support. We're taking a few rounds of cat-cow breaths. Now, if it's not comfortable for you to be on your knees, you can also come into your easy seat, hands on the front of the knees, and take your cat-cow breaths from your easy seat. From all fours, wrists under the shoulders, knees under the hips. After your next exhale, we're going to inhale, open the heart, lift the chin. Exhale, curve the spine, tuck the chin and tail. I'll turn to my side here. So we'll inhale, open. Exhale, big curve. repeat. Let's take 5 breaths. Move your pace. And 4. And 3. And 2. Last one here, and we're moving in to thread the needle. Now, if you're on your easy seat, you'll bring the arm across the front of the throat, not the chest, and stretch as you pat yourself on the back. If you're on all fours, let's reach that right arm up, thread it under the left, bringing the cheek towards the mat. And we're here for 6 breaths. You should feel this in the right shoulder. Keep breathing, 3 more. As we press up, we'll repeat on the other side or reverse from your easy seat. Big reach up with the left, under the right, and rest your cheek on the mat. You can also take a bind or modify to your comfort level. 4 more breaths. And 3. 2. And 1. Now we're coming back up to all fours and moving into our child's pose. We're going to hold this one for a little while into the deeper stretch portion on our mat. So for your child's pose, if it's not comfortable for your knees, you've always got your modification. Plant your bottom, feet come forward, forearms behind the thighs, and hinging forward, okay? Otherwise, on your mat, maybe using your support, we want to bring the big toes together, sink that bottom towards the heels. Your knees are nice and open. And then as we walk those hands forward, the chest lowers down. And you've got a few options here. So if you want to keep it more active, pressing through those hands, forearms are off the mat. And you can shift a little side to side, settle in. For a more restorative child's pose, you can grab your bolster and place it between the legs before lowering down, and you've got lots of nice support resting on one cheek or the other. Or without the bolster, you can let those forearms come down and the forehead rest. Wherever you are, I'll keep track of the timing for us. So sink into this wonderful pose and really allow yourself to start enjoying some of the benefits of this class together. If you're resting on one cheek, on your bolster or pillows, you can turn to rest on the other and settle back in. when you're ready, we're slowly going to make our way back up. Move your pillow or bolsters aside if you were using them. And we are going to lay on our tummies and set up for half frog. This is where you will want a little support under that outside knee if your knees are a little bit more sensitive. So in a way that's comfortable for you, let's come down onto your tummy. You can rest the chin on the tops of the hands. Shift those hips side to side. Get comfortable here. And what we want to do is bring that right knee out so that it's in line with the hip. And the shin is parallel to the side of the mat. This is our half frog pose. Once you're here, start to press that right hip down a little bit so that you can feel a nice stretch. You may feel this in the groin and inner thigh, hip flexor. We're going to take our time here. Remember, you can put some support under the knee. And you can rest the chin on the hands or rest on one cheek or the other. Wherever you choose to rest, let's soften the jaw. Careful not to clench the jaw, which can sometimes happen. There's a slight flex in that right foot. And rest here with me. Keep your focus on what's happening on the four corners of your mat or within the four corners. Dial into your breath. We're near the halfway point on this side. And when you're ready, we want to gently bring that right knee back in. Place the right leg next to the left. Shimmy those hips a little. And let's set up on the left. Left knee comes out in line with the hip. Little flex in that foot. And we're giving the body time here to really settle back in. Resting on one cheek or the other. Don't clench the jaw. Allow things to be easy in the body. Soften where you can. And remember to press in towards the mat slightly to deepen the stretch from that left side. near the halfway point on this side. Continue settling in. We've got about 3 more breaths here. And then we'll bring that left knee back in. Place the legs next to one another and shimmy. So you've got 1 more exhale. Slowly bring it back in. And we're bringing the hands under the shoulders and pressing up. Coming back to your version of your child's pose. It's really great to take a child's pose after a frog series. So if you have your pillows, you can use those, or we can go a little deeper as we prepare. Bottom towards the heels, big toes together, and let's walk forward. This one may feel a little different than our first. Take your time, really press with those hands to send the bottom closer to the heels. Shift the weight side to side. Maybe keep this one more active by the forearms being off the mat. Or come on down if you need a moment. You can stay where you are, or you can walk the hands over to the right, left hand on top of the right, and you'll feel some compression down the abs onto the thigh. We're here for 8 breaths. Big stretch. After your next exhale, we're slowly coming through center and over to the other side for 8 more breaths. Notice how the body's feeling. Reach, reach, reach with those arms. Four more breaths here. And 3. And 2. And 1. Slowly make your way back to center and then walk the hands close to the body. We're going to have a seat on our bottom as we move into some folding here. So this is where your strap, belt, or scarf may come in handy. So what we're going to do is prepare for a forward fold. Now, it's important to keep some length in the spine here. And one thing that may be helpful is to send those arms out, palms up. Imagine you're holding a book in your hands. And now let's see if we can place that book on the tops of the feet or ankles, wherever you may be. If it's helpful to use your strap, we can put that strap around the ball of each foot. Even amounts of strap in both sides. Keeping length in the spine, looking at those toes, hinging forward, careful with the shoulders. So you can always slide the hands closer to the body. Maybe move a little to get grounded here through the sit bones. And if you'd rather make this more restorative, you can put your pillows in your lap, set the strap aside, and gently, loosely fold forward. Now we're near the halfway point on this stretch. It may feel nice to make a tiny adjustment. So for me, I like to come up and release the strap. Arms come up and I hinge forward for a little deeper stretch. Modify and deepen in a way that works for you. Tune back into the breath and stretch. Five more breaths. And 4, 3, and 2, and 1. Very slowly come up. And let's pedal things out. Open and close. And we're moving into an optional quad stretch. So if you're comfortable with a quad stretch and you don't have knee sensitivity, what we're going to do is bend the right leg, bring the right heel near the hip, and then very carefully we're walking the hands back, a little bend in the elbow. Maybe you rest here for a moment, or you come down onto the forearms, open the heart, looking up towards the ceiling if it's comfortable for you, or allowing the head to drop a little further. You can also look at the toes in front. this one. Careful with the low back. You can always gently make your way up and out if you need to. Otherwise, 7 more breaths. Remember to keep that front foot flexed. Two more breaths. And it's important to slowly come up and out before setting up on the other side. Now, if these aren't comfortable for you, you can also gently come onto your back and hug one knee in toward the chest with the other leg bent and the foot planted, working on one side and then the other. I've got the front foot flexed, left heel is near the hip, and slowly making my way back. You may raise your arms, or maybe you come all the way down onto the back. Just take your time and enjoy the stretch. Choosing what's most comfortable for your head and neck. Maybe that's looking at the toes or looking up towards the ceiling, or anywhere in between. We have 8 more breaths here. And 4, and 3, and 2, and 1. Very slowly, gently coming back up. And we're going to cross the legs in an easy seat. Taking a moment here, reconnecting with the breath, floating the eyes closed. And if it's comfortable for you, begin to bring the right ear towards the right shoulder, letting the head hang heavy. Feeling a nice stretch down the left side of the neck. You can stay here, or you can reach that right arm out and then cup the ear with the hand, deepening just a bit. We'll release the hand. Arm is by your side. 4 more breaths here. Gently come up. We'll repeat to the left, and then we have another nice fold series. Left ear to the left shoulder. Ooh, noticing differences from one side to the other. 4 slow breaths. Maybe sending that arm out, cupping the ear with the hand. 4 breaths. Release the hand and arm, and 4 more breaths. slowly coming back up. Maybe rolling the shoulders back for 4 and forward for 4. With your strap nearby, or your tie or scarf, we're going to send the right leg out and bend the left leg. The knee is open if this is comfortable for you. If not, you can bring that knee up or place a block under the knee. The strap goes behind the ball of the right foot with that long spine, very slowly folding forward. Now you may find you don't need the strap, but it's always nice to start here with the strap, and then maybe you can bring the hands behind the ball of the foot. As we stretch here. We're near the halfway point on this side. Let's take 8 more slow breaths together. Slowly coming up, and let's repeat on the other side. Reverse your wing, send that send that other leg out, the left leg, and keep that foot flexed. Maybe you use your strap to start as we fold, or bring the hands behind the ball of the foot. Big stretch. Near the halfway point, if there are any adjustments you'd like to make, keeping that foot flexed. Slowly coming up and taking a wide-legged forward fold with me. So I'm going to turn to my side so that I've got both heels on the mat. Lifting up on the sit bones. I like to keep my feet flexed here so that the legs stay active. You can also point the feet, and we've got the hands planted. Spine is nice and tall. If you'd like your pillows or blocks or bolster to assist here, you do have those nearby. But I'm going to go ahead and start walking the hands forward, feeling a nice stretch. Maybe the forearms come to rest. They don't have to. You can also tent those fingers as you straighten the arms. The fold is coming from the hips. Flex the feet. We're near the halfway point with this fold. So you can continue reaching forward, or you have the option to walk the hands over to the right, reach the left arm up to change the stretch just a little. Keep the shoulders stacked and that top arm active. We'll stay here for 8 breaths and then move over to the other side. Gently up and over to the left. Check in with your feet. Shoulders are stacked. Really reach with that top arm through the fingertips. Feel that energy. 6 more breaths. Gently back up. Very slowly bring the legs together. We're going to pedal things out. Pedaling things out. Open and close the legs. And let's windshield wiper before we move into our final few stretches here. So the feet are as wide as the mat. Alternate bringing the knees down towards the mat. We'll do 8 times. 6. 2 more times. 2 and 1. And I'd like us to finish with either a pigeon, fire log, or figure 4. And we want to spend 2.5 to 3 minutes on each side. So pigeon is my favorite, but you'll want to avoid it if you do have sciatica. So I'll show you what pigeon looks like, fire log, and figure 4, and then you'll take your choice. If you already know what these look like, go ahead and move in on the right side. For pigeon on the right, let's bring the right shin parallel to the front of the mat. We send the left leg back, the kneecap is on the mat, and then the palms are down before we maybe slowly come onto the forearms or reach those arms forward, okay? That's our pigeon. You'll want to gently come out of it after I let you know that 3 minutes is up. Now for fire log, we'll cross one leg in front of the other. Then we bring the heel over the knee and the knee over the heel. It's important that you flex both feet here. It's normal to have a little space, which is where you can place your block or towel or blanket. Nice and tall here to begin, and then maybe hinging forward. If neither one of these works well for you, you do 4. So I'll turn around. You'll slowly come onto the mat, one vertebrae at a time. You'll cross the right heel in front of the left knee. The left foot comes off of the mat, it's flexed. Interlace the hands behind the thigh and stretch. Wherever you are, let's settle in. Soften the jaw. We've got about 10 breaths left before we repeat on the other side. Three more breaths, and then we want to gently prepare to come out of whatever stretch you chose. If you're on your back, you'll uncross and plant both feet down. Maybe move the knees side to side. If you're on your bottom, maybe send those legs forward and pedal things out. Or gently fall on that back hip from your pigeon. Swing the legs forward, shake it out. So taking your pigeon, fire log, or figure 4 on the other side. And noticing any differences here. Keeping the feet flexed in fire log and figure 4. And using your breath to sink deeper into the stretch, into relaxation. We're near the halfway point. This is our last stretch today. Stay with me. Eight more breaths. And we're going to prepare to very gently moving bit by little bit, coming out of the stretch. Maybe knees coming side to side or pedaling the legs out. And then at your pace, we want to set up for our final resting pose. So we're lowering down with our feet planted, knees bent, one vertebrae at a time. Feeling some support in the low back. Maybe walk those heels closer in towards the body. And this is our opportunity to take any final stretches we'd like to here. Maybe your happy baby. One hand and then the other on the outside of each foot. Knees bent. Little sway side to side. Staying here as long as you'd like. Or maybe sending the legs up or taking an inversion if it's in your practice. Or big fingers around the big toes, stretching the legs either direction. Feels so good. And then when you're ready, we want to set up for our final resting pose. So maybe the knees come together and the feet open. Arms are on the floor, palms up. And then when you're ready, bring in one leg and then the other down. Softening the chin, jaw, and forehead. And allowing yourself to really soak up the benefits of our practice today. Stay here as long as you'd like. No need to rush. I'm going to wrap up our recording just to be respectful of time, but I hope you can take a few more minutes to rest and recover. And I will look forward to connecting with you again very soon. Stronger and better. The light within me sees and honors the light within you. Namaste.